Welcome to Prepare to Survive, Pinellas County's presentation on disaster preparedness. I'm your host, Tom Iovino of the Pinellas County Communications Department. For the next 15 minutes, we'll take a look at where tomorrow's leaders in emergency management are coming from and just what they're up to right now. Joining us today is Dale Koning, one of the instructors at the First Responder Magnet Program at Pinellas Park High School. Welcome, Dale. How are you doing today?
Thanks for having me up here today.
Definitely. A pleasure to have you here, because this is an exciting program that you guys have over in Pinellas Park High, the First Responder Program. What is it?
Well, back in 2008, the National Guard wanted a program like this to exist, so they funded it. Pinellas County Schools picked it up. A curriculum was written and it was approved by the state. And so now we have one of the only high school level programs, career technical programs, for emergency management and planning in the nation.
So here in Pinellas County, one of the few.
That's right, right here in Pinellas County.
And one of the first, too.
One of the first, right.
Now, the kids have been in this program since, what, 2009, the first kids came in, and so we're not talking about people who have been through all 4 years. How many students are involved so far?
We'd like to see more, but right now we have under 300, which is still a lot of kids. We're about ready to graduate in June of next year, our first of the first responders. So we're seniors and we're really excited about it for the first time.
That's a big deal right there. Get that first group through and see what happens. Now, when you say first responders, what kind of career paths are these kids looking to do?
There's a lot of different things. Our main goal is to get a civic responsibility, anything having to do with helping the public, fire department, EMS, search and rescue, hazardous materials, military careers, homeland security. So we take a broad range, a sampling, if you will, of a lot of the emergency management careers and fields of study, and we give them ability to look to which one might suit them the best. Because we have a lot of different interest levels in the school, in these high school kids. Okay, so basically running the gamut, anything that has to do with that first response, right, that kind of thing. So now you've got these about 300 kids, and they're going through this program. What are some of the things you guys are doing? First of all, let's talk. Before we even get there, let's back up a little bit. What kind of facilities do you have over there? I understand you guys had something donated to you recently. That was a big deal. Yes. Well, as a new program, we're always looking for equipment and things that we can use to train, and the kids can see the real equipment in action. Pinellas Park, City of Pinellas Park was kind enough to donate us a real fire engine. So we have our own fire truck at the school. So real live, formerly running, lights and sirens, lights, everything. Yeah, there we go. Nice. Now, what are the kids doing with this kind of this piece of apparatus? What are they learning about this? Well, the fire department is one of the main wheels that hit the road when an emergency happens. So on the response side of the emergency management cycle, they learn that what kinds of things the fire equipment is used, their protective equipment, their procedures, and we use that. We're looking to find out more things to do with it at this point. Okay. But evolutions and that kind of thing, getting in and off, on and off the fire truck, it's more of a photo op at this point, but we're developing it as we talk. Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how you can integrate that into these lessons as you move forward. Now, also, you've got a mock-up of an ambulance in one of your classrooms as well. I remember stopping by and seeing that. Yes. Yeah, we're able to do as much real-life application when they learn how to handle a patient. We can actually put a patient on a stretcher, real-life stretcher, and then load them into a real-life ambulance, so to speak. In fact, we've just gotten a grant from Pinellas Education Foundation that we have a lot of equipment, bandaging and splinting and masks and all of the medical equipment that we can simulate, if you will, doing real patient care. That's going to be a valuable piece of experience for somebody trying to get into that field for sure. Now, in addition to having this apparatus, part of it is also you guys are doing a lot of activities, trying to not only just learn, but also to get out into the community, kind of get some preparation. And earlier this year at the Hurricane Media Day we had down in the Emergency Operations Center when the season began, you guys were involved in a texting project that we were trying to unravel. Can you talk to us a little bit about that? I'm glad you brought that up. That was a neat program. As you know, or as the public should know, the communication system tends to get overloaded during an emergency. So one of the things that we can do, or the public can do, to alleviate that is to use this new technology of texting during an emergency, and we want to get that message out. Well, if you need to learn how to text, who's the experts on texting? Anybody younger than the age of 20, I believe. Something probably like falls into there, yeah.
These, and I remember we went through this whole process. It was actually having the kids getting involved in writing the scripts, and we ended up with sending our camera folks out to actually get that in. How's the reception been so far?
Well, the kids are amazed by it. They really feel that they are part of the solution. They really feel that they are becoming the next generation of emergency managers. And they think, well, this is no big deal at all, but say, really, it is a big deal because the general public doesn't realize how important you are to the future.
And it's really important, that whole training, actually starting very young age and actually starting to identify what kind of career path you want to have. That's a big deal to get that, get the people started on the right foot.
Right.
Now, with Halloween coming, and with Halloween and at the end of October and all that other stuff, you guys were involved in a project, Zombie Apocalypse. Talk to us a little about the origins of this and how it is you guys got involved with this.
Some years ago, within 5 years ago, the CDC out of Atlanta, one of their main bloggers made a mention that preparing for a hurricane or a disaster is kind of like preparing for the zombie apocalypse. And so when we started this program, we brainstormed some ideas, and this kind of came up. Well, now it's coming to fruition, so we are actually preparing for that zombie apocalypse, and my seniors are really into it. They see the connection between the fun of pretending about these zombies thing, but you have to have a go kit. You have to have a place to go. You have to have food and water. You're not going to have electricity. All of the same elements that we try to teach in emergency preparedness. So we're taking a fun element of zombies, which is big right now, and we're actually applying that. And boy, if you can do that with kids and get them excited about a subject, that's education.
There's definitely a lot to be said about that, and you also alluded to something else. The seniors were seeing the connection. How is it, now you're noticing that the seniors have gotten finally to the senior level, how are they mentoring the younger students who've just come in recently?
The seniors are the big folks on campus, and so when they see excitement out of the senior class, the younger kids see that excitement, they're looking forward to it. I can't tell you how many kids have come to me, Mr. Koning, are we going to get to do that too? And what does that got to do with emergency management? How are we going to use that? And that energy is something that is really special in our program.
Now, when you talk about different aspects of the first responder program, of course everybody thinks lights, sirens, really exciting stuff. The emergency management aspect is a little bit more cerebral. People tend to think, about planning and evacuations and what are we going to do about it? But the kids have actually taken to it very well as far as the preparation and getting those cerebral thoughts into place. What are some of the things they're doing with emergency management specifically, as opposed to the fire preparedness stuff?
One of our Pinellas County first emergency managers, Guy Danes, has come in, and he's shared with us a lot of things. And he's actually going to be working with us again this year. The seniors have a culminating project where they actually have a disaster exercise. So the kids in the whole entire program are going to be involved in this, from being some of the injuries that we're going to simulate on the field, all the way to the emergency response organizations. We have 18 different organizations that were involved in Pinellas County's disaster MCI protocol. Okay. And so each one of, depending on the interest,
mass casualty incident.
Mass casualty incident, sorry.
Just want to make sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so each kid in there, they're going to break into groups where each area, so some may be nonprofit oriented, some might want to be, work with Red Cross or animals. We have some kids who have a real strong interest in animals, which is, again, something we need to talk about in emergency management. So we're trying to take these, like you say, cerebral ideas and try to give them some hands-on with it. Guy quoted says, we work 90% of the time to do something that we only do 10% of the time. And it might even be less than that.
It certainly is, yeah.
Yeah, so finding the hands-on activities to make it real for them is a challenge, but it's one that we've accepted, and it's working real well for us.
Now you've got the seniors. Have they expressed any interest in where they're going to go from here? I mean, have we started that conversation? I realize it's, we're still early in the year, but have we gotten to that point yet where they start thinking about the spring when they do graduate, where they're going to take this?
One of the things that we're supposed to do with seniors, and I think all programs do this, especially the career technical aspects, is we help them to do college grants and look for where they want to go, if they want to go the college route, if they're going to go to a technical school. We have interns. We have an internship program that we're trying to get the kids out into, we are getting the kids out into the into the community. In fact, we have an intern placed here at Pinellas County at the 911 EOC. So they are beginning to see the connection between all this work that they've been doing, math and science and reading, and that really is an application to it out in the real world. It takes some time, but they're getting there.
Well, you know, again, when you get to the point where you've got seniors in high school, you're actually seeing, instead of young children coming into a program, you're actually seeing adults leaving, or at least, you know, close to adults leaving. And it's
here before we know it.
And, yeah, seriously, and it's a lot of them are 18 when they get out, and that's that age of adulthood, that age of majority at that point. So it's interesting to see how the process is evolving. How has involvement with the community been so far? I mean, how has it been a lot of support that's been coming to the program?
We've been establishing partnerships with a lot of different groups, Pinellas County and local fire departments and EMS, we've had good reception because one of the new ones that we're working on with right now is Pinellas County Public Health.
Okay.
There are other magnet programs. There's medical magnets and such.
Oh, sure.
But we're taking it from a different angle. We're looking at it from emergency management standpoint. So along the zombie line, that's a CDC, that's a public health thing. So a lot of things can occur that can get these kids active with the elements of response and planning and mitigation in the emergency response area.
Good. I'm glad to see that, you know, the community's buying into this, because again, when we get into the future and people like me eventually get to the point where we retire, it's good to see there's new people coming along with an interest in this who actually are training. You know, this is something I don't think anybody would have ever dreamed about back before, say, 2001, the September 11th attacks, that anybody would even think this would be a course of education. I mean, have you seen that evolution over the years as this has become more of a professional track of study?
These kids know that if they can help others, make the world a better place, get civically involved, and actually have a career out of it, they can attain lifelong happiness in a career, you know. And I'm sure there's going to be some, because we do a public information section, and there's going to be some that are going to be looking for your job soon.
Matter of fact, the young gentleman who acted in the video for the Jake, you know, definitely what the remark was that there's somebody who could eventually become your protege, Tom, and take your job when you retire. So definitely happy to see that that's going on. What are the future plans for the program? I mean, obviously, you know, you're still getting that first class through completely. What does it look like for the next 4, 5, 6 years for the program? What vision do you guys have?
Well, we'd like to get bigger. We'd like to expand the program a bit more. Just getting better at what we're doing. We've got a very well developed, the people that wrote this, the curriculum frameworks that the state has approved are just genius. When I look at it and I think, wow, they really thought this through. So as we develop the curriculum into more lesson plans, into more applications, it's going to do nothing but improve our product, which is the ability to serve the kids, because that's what it's all about, is giving these kids the best education that they can possibly get, and get them excited about it. And I'm excited to be part of it. I don't know, just really excited to be part of it.
Well, it's a very exciting career field, and when you think about now, these children, these students have that opportunity to get that leg up, to be able to be steered in that professional context. That's a big deal right there. Anything else you want to tell us about the program? I mean, you know, we've been talking for a while. Is there anything you want people to leave after they watch today's show? What do you want them to leave with?
Pinellas County school teachers work really hard to provide a quality education. The news, the press, sometimes they get it wrong, but our kids leave each day. I make sure that my kids that I see leave each day with a positive outlook on a quality education, one that they can take and build on to make the world a better place. You know, it's kind of altruistic, but that's what I got out of the fire service and into this for that. And this is a great vehicle to make that happen.
Well, Dale, I can't thank you enough for the time you spend with these students, because, you know, 20, 30 years from now, they're going to be the leaders of our community.
They are.
Who are helping to keep us safe during all these days, during these potential disasters, these trying times. Dale, thank you very much for coming out today. And if you would like to see a repeat of this presentation, visit www.pinellascounty.org/eSeries. If you'd like to know more information about how to prepare for hurricanes or other potential disasters, visit the Pinellas County Emergency Management homepage at www.pinellascounty.org/emergency. And if you have any questions about today's topic, be sure to email them to ema@pinellascounty.org, and we will get back to you. This concludes Prepare to Survive for the 2012 hurricane season, and we'll be taking a hiatus during the off-season. Until we pick up production again next year, please remember to keep your survival kit ready to go, fresh batteries in your weather alert radio, and an eye to the skies. Stay safe.